They say a woman's heart can stop for many reasons: fear, joy, or shock. For Adaeze, it was all three at once. She woke up with a pounding headache, as if a whole drum festival was going on inside her skull. But when she turned her head, she froze. A stranger was lying beside her, and worse, she had no clothes on. Her breath caught in her throat. "Chineke me!" she cried, clutching the wrapper close to her chest. The man opened his eyes slowly, like someone waking from a sweet dream. He smiled as if nothing was wrong. "Last night was something," he said, stretching his arms. "Shall we continue?" Adaeze's palm landed on his cheek with a loud "Pah!" "Who are you? How did I get here? What have you done to me?" The man rubbed his jaw calmly. "My name is Obinna. You came running to me last night, asking for help. You begged me to hide you. You begged me to keep you warm." "Lie." Adaeze's voice shook like leaves in the harmattan wind. She would never beg any man, not even in her dreams. But then, like the slow turn of the moon, the memories returned. The village meeting, the cup of sweet palm wine from Chief Nandi, the bitter taste that rose later in her throat, her dizzy steps, the hands reaching to grab her, her desperate run into the dark night, the open doorway, this man. Adaeze's knee felt weak. She whispered, almost to herself, What did he put in that drink?" Obinna's face grew serious. "It was a dangerous poison. You would not have survived till morning if I had not helped you." Adaeze could not tell if he was her savior or just another trap waiting to close. But before he could speak again, the deep beat of the talking drum rolled through the air. A man's voice followed, shouting her name. Chief Nandi's men were coming. Obinna picked up a worn leather hunter's bag and slung it over his shoulder. "If you want to leave," he said quietly, "come with me. But once you do, your life will never be the same." Adaeze's head was still spinning, but the sound of the talking drum made her heart race even faster. In the village of Omodin, everyone knew what that drum meant. Danger. Obinna's voice was calm, but his eyes were sharp. "Choose now," he said. "Come with me or stay and face them." Adaeze looked toward the doorway. The shouts were getting closer. She didn't trust this man, but she knew what Chief Nandi's men could do. Her stomach tightened. "I'm coming," she whispered. Obinna nodded, threw a wrapper over her shoulders, and led her out the back door. They ran past mud huts, through tall cassava plants, until the voices were far behind. Only the chirp of crickets and the rustle of night leaves followed them now. But Adaeze could still feel eyes watching from the darkness. They walked for a long time, the moon lightening their path. Obinna moved like a hunter, quiet, alert, his ears always listening. Adaeze kept stealing glances at him. His face was strong, with a scar running from his temple to his jaw. She wondered what kind of man lived alone in the bush with nothing but a hunter's bag. Finally, she asked, "Where are you taking me?" "To a place Chief Nandi's men will never find you," he said. His voice was steady, but something in it made her shiver. They reached a narrow stream, its water glowing faintly in the moonlight. "This river is sacred," Obinna said. "No evil man can follow us without paying the spirits." Adaeze hesitated. She had heard stories about this river, stories of people who crossed and never returned. "Do you trust me?" Obinna asked. Adaeze looked into his eyes. She didn't know if she trusted him, but she trusted Nandi's men even less. She stepped into the cold water. By the time they reached a small hut deep in the forest, Adaeze's legs were trembling. Obinna lit a small oil lamp, casting warm light on the walls. "This is my mother's hut," he said. "She's gone now, but her spirit keeps it safe." Adaeze sank onto a mat, her body aching. She wanted to sleep, but questions crowded her mind. "Why did you help me?" she asked. Obinna sat across from her. "Because once someone helped me when I was running from death. I cannot forget that." He poured her a cup of warm herbal drink. "This will make you strong again," he said. Adaeze took the cup but didn't drink. Her eyes stayed on his face, searching for truth. Outside, and all cold, long and low. Obinna's head snapped toward the door. "That is not a good sign," he murmured. That night, Adaeze could not sleep. She heard Obinna moving quietly outside, sharpening a machete. She lay still, pretending to sleep, and listened. He was speaking softly, not to her, but to someone she couldn't see. "The woman is here," he said. "Yes, I know the price." A chill crept over Adaeze's skin. Who was he talking to? What price? The next morning, he acted as if nothing had happened. He gave her food and told her they would travel again that night. But Adaeze's mind was full of fear. She had escaped Chief Nandi's trap. But had she walked into another one? The moon was a thin silver hook in the sky when Obinna woke Adaeze. "It's time," he said. They walked in silence through the forest, the sound of crickets and night birds following them. Adaeze's mind was restless. Was she walking beside a savior or a man with his own dangerous plans? Suddenly, Obinna stopped. He bent down and pressed his palm to the ground. "They are close," he whispered. "Who?" Adaeze asked, her heart pounding. "Men from the village, but not Nandis. These ones wear red masks." Adaeze had heard of them. The Onyeuchi, hunters of people, paid to find and return runaways. Obinna pulled her off the path and they crouched behind thick bushes. The marksmen passed, their spears gleaming in the moonlight. When they were gone, Adaeze finally whispered, "Why are they after me?" Obinna's eyes met hers. "Because you are carrying something you do not know." By morning, they reached a small clearing where an old woman sat grinding herbs. Her hair was as white as river foam and her eyes shone like someone who could see beyond the present. "This is Mama Udu," Obinna said. "She will tell you what I cannot." Mama Udu looked at Adaeze for a long time. Then she said, "Hide. There is a mark on your spirit. It is the reason Nandi wants you." "A mark?" Adaeze frowned. The old woman nodded. "You were born under the moon of Oganihun. Children born then are said to carry blessings that can multiply wealth or power, for good or for evil. Men like Nandi want to use it for evil." Adaeze felt her hands grow cold. She had never heard such a thing before. Mama Udu touched her shoulder. "Trust no man until you see the truth in his shadow." She turned to Obinna. "And you, do not repeat your past mistake. If you protect her with a clean heart." Obinna's jaw tightened, but he said nothing. That night, Adaeze could not forget Mama Udu's words. She watched Obinna as he sat outside by the fire, staring into the flames. Finally, she stepped out. "What did she mean by your past mistakes?" Obinna did not look at her. "Once, I promised to protect someone. I failed. They paid the price with their life." Adaeze's voice softened. "And now?" His eyes lifted to hers. "Now the spirits say I must protect you, but there is a price." "What price?" she asked. She looked into the darkness beyond the firelight. "The spirits will take one of us before the new moon." The cold wind swept through the clearing. Adaeze's throat felt tight. She wanted to ask more, but the fire suddenly hissed and went out. In the darkness came the sound of the warning drum again, closer this time. They ran through torn bushes that tore their clothes, across streams that beat with cold, up hills where their lungs burned. Drum beats followed, quickening like a heartbeat. Obinna never looked back, only urged her forward. At last, they reached the edge of a wide river. The water shimmered with strange light, and the earth smelled of rain, though the sky was clear. "This is the river of choosing," Obinna said. "Once we cross, the spirits will decide who pays the price." Adaeze's hand trembled. "And if we don't cross, they will take us both." Without waiting, Obinna stepped into the river, the water rising to his waist. He held out his hand to her. "Come," he said. "It ends tonight." Adaeze's breath came in short, sharp bursts. The river shimmered like liquid moonlight. She could feel something in it. A pull, a whisper, a promise. Obinna's hands were still outstretched. "Come," he urged. "There is no time." The talking drum was louder now, almost upon them. Shadows moved on the far bank. Now these men, their red masks glinted in the dim light. Adaeze stepped into the water. It was cold at first, then strangely warm, as if alive. The current curled around her legs, tugging at her like unseen hands. Halfway across Obinna's top, the water had risen to his chest. "It will choose now," he said quietly. "If the river takes me, run and never look back. If it takes you, I will fight to follow." Adaeze's voice shook. "Why would you do that for me?" His eyes softened. "Because the spirits say your life will heal many, if it is not taken tonight." The river began to swell. The light in the water grew brighter, wrapping around them like threads of silver. Adaeze felt something pulling at her, deep and strong. But then Obinna stepped forward, placing himself between her and the current. The pull grew fierce, roaring in her ears. "No!" she cried, trying to hold him. "Leave, Adaeze!" he shouted. Then the water rose like a wave and swallowed him whole. The current went still. The light faded. Adaeze was alone in the middle of the river. She stumbled to the far bank, her body shaking. The marksmen stood frozen, unable to cross. The spirits had claimed their prize. When Adaeze returned to Omodin weeks later, people whispered in awe. They had thought she was gone forever. She never spoke of the night in the forest or of Obinna's sacrifice, but she kept his worn leather hunter's bag, hanging it in her hut as a reminder. Whenever the talking drum sounded in the distance, she would close her eyes and see him, standing in the river, the silver light around him, telling her to leave. Some said Obinna became a spirit's guardian of the river of choosing. Others said he still walks the forest at night, guiding the lost. But Adaeze knew the truth. The price had been paid. She would carry his gift for the rest of her days. This is not Adaeze's story. It is the story of life itself. Sometimes we find ourselves trapped between fear and trust, between running and standing still. We don't always know who is for us or who is against us. And yet, in the darkest moment, an hand reaches out and we must choose. Adaeze chose to trust. And though the journey cost her dearly, it also saved her life. Obinna gave the greatest gift of all, his life, so that hers could continue. His sacrifice reminds us that love is not always found in sweet words or promises, but in actions, even when it costs everything. The lesson is this: not everyone you fear is your enemy, and not everyone who smiles is your friend. Sometimes the one you doubt becomes the one who saves you, and sometimes true love is shown in silence, through sacrifice, through the price one pays so that another may live. So, the next time you wonder who to trust, remember this story. Not everyone who smiles is a friend, and not everyone you fear is an enemy. Sometimes, the greatest love is found in unexpected places. This story was told by Suzy here on Suzy Space, where African folktales come alive. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe for more stories. Share it with someone who will love our culture, and leave a comment with the lesson you took from this tale. Thank you for listening, and until next time, remember, every story carries a truth.